Okay. Hello and welcome to the True Alliance team call. Tonight we're going to be talking about your story and leveraging other people's stories, as well as how to meet new people and how to track your prospects. So we have a lot to talk about. So I'm glad if you have your pens or pencils or notebooks. I'll take some notes and I'm going to ask you some questions. So it's going to be a little hands-on too, not just sit and watch. Okay. So let me share my screen so we can get started. And I'm going to go to this here. Okay. So what is your story? There you go. Okay. So when you think of your story, what I like to do is just first brainstorm, right? Think of 5 things about you, good and bad. You know, like for me, I'm a teacher. I've been teaching for 16 years, but luckily that's changed this year. I was able to stay home with my children and take them to school part-time, and while I did Beachbody full-time. So that was one of my big goals. I have 2 daughters, ages 4 and 5. So luckily they got to sleep early. 2 fat cats and a 5-month-old puppy. I used to run and swim and bike, and I did a lot of things outside. And so that's one of the reasons that I started Beachbody, which I'll get into my story a little bit, but that's one of the things that segue into my story is I wasn't able to do that anymore. Once I had my kids, I wasn't able to go out and, you know, do my exercise whenever I wanted anymore. I love skiing, photography, nature. So when you dig deep about yourself and just write things that you know you're going to be wanting to share, and others are going to want to be attracted to you based on similarities and things about you. And it's not just about Beachbody and about what you're doing, but all of the things and attributes about yourself. Okay, so some of the things that are negative are when I was only 5, my parents were divorced. So I tend to be pretty unorganized. I'm not contributing it to the divorce. I'm not the most organized. I'm not great at food prep and cooking, and that I think is because of my upbringing. Kind of was on TV dinners and things like that. I still love my creamer and my coffee, so I might post about these things because you want people to relate to you. You don't have to be perfect, you know. In your story, people want to be able to relate to people that are struggling and going through their own journey. So as long as you're in the process of bettering yourself, you don't need to be at the end. You don't need to be like at the finished product. We're always in a constant journey, and you know, life gets in the way. And we have, you know, we're on track for a while, then we might fall off track, and it's okay for others to see that. So the worst story you ever told is the story that you never told. Okay. So crafting your story, you want to think about what was your life like before Beachbody came into the picture. Okay, and then you're going to think about, I put the what's and the when's and the how's, because this is kind of how you can craft your story. So if you have a pencil and notebook, think about what your life was like before Beachbody came into the picture. Okay, what were you struggling with the most at this time? What was your aha moment? Like if you can think of a specific time of when you realized, hey, this might work for me, or this is how I'm definitely ready to change. Or you might have hit rock bottom someplace and you definitely needed a wake-up call and it's time to do something. You know, since joining Beachbody, how has your life changed for the better? So sometimes it's physical, like people have had bigger issues than just losing weight, or they might be pre-diabetic. They might have I know a lot of people that were struggling with autoimmune or even cancer. Like there's huge problems out there, but yours doesn't have to be a huge problem. It's just something that's changed in you. Could be emotional or financial. Okay, so I did 2 stories here to show you, like what was life like before Beachbody. I wasn't really taking care of myself. I was struggling day to day, just in survival mode with my little ones. I just want to check. You can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, because I can't see you unless I make it like this. Is this too small for you? Is this too small?
No.
Because I was in prison. Because I might keep it like this just so I could see your faces, because I feel like I'm talking to no one when it's so can you still read it like this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to leave it like this for now, because at least I could see you. Okay, so before Beachbody, I was not taking care of myself. I was in survival mode. my little ones. She was 6 months old, and my other one was 19 months old, my oldest one. So, with the bottles and the diapers, and you're in that crazy mode, and you just,
Yes.
you basically not taking care of yourself at all. So, especially when you're working full time, you're getting up, you're going to work, you're getting home, and there's a million things to do. So to make my story a little shorter here, I just wrote that I was not consistent with anything. Even before the kids, I was just a runner, and I wasn't consistent even with just the running. I was great at running, but I did it whenever I wanted. I would do a little of this, a little of that, and never really focused on my nutrition at all. So what was I struggling with the most at this time? I was struggling with nutrition, taking care of my own health while taking care of my 6-month-old and 19-month-old. My aha moment when I first started a challenge group, because I was drinking Shakeology for about 9 months, and just to have the energy to be there for the kids and to make sure I was getting my vegetables, because I was really just feeding them, and I didn't, whatever went in my mouth, So I was drinking that for a while, and then I realized I'm not really getting out and running and biking and swimming like I wanted to, or I used to. I didn't really have the priority anymore to do that. So when I decided, all right, I'll try an at-home program. I never really loved working out at home. I thought it'd be boring, but once I was in a challenge group and I realized how amazing the support was, and it got me up at 5 a.m. and it got me to actually push play every day, and not just when I felt like it here and there, but I finished the program from beginning to end, and I felt so accomplished. And I was able to now take more control of my own health, and it's helped me my time with my family, less stress, and I felt stronger. So that's pretty much my story, my original story. I put this little story on the bottom here to show how your story can change as you're a coach and you're in this business longer. I realized my sister, who was working the business, was making a couple $100s a week, and I said to myself, well, maybe since I love the challenge group, maybe I'll invite some people and I'll start doing this as a business as well on the side. I was still juggling my home life with paying bills and work life. So when I realized I could make some extra cash to send my kids to different classes, music classes, art classes, or gymnastics, and that's like another story, So you always are going to have little stories within stories. So when you're sharing, let me go to the next one. You want to give people like wanting more, just a little at a time. They call that breadcrumbing. So you want to, like we said, be relatable. If you're giving pieces, little clues about your life, what's happening, improvements, they will relate to you. As long as you're someone that's trying to get results for yourself and you're still on your journey, they will love the fact that even if you are having trials and tribulations, they want to see that. I have a few quotes here that I loved. Your trials are your triumphs. Your struggle is like the deep one, the one that you're scared to share. That's your story. Your adversity is your advantage, and your mess is your message. Okay, so even if you feel that there are things that you might not want to share, you have to dig deep. Those are some of the harder things and the ones that people relate to the most, because there are people out there that will relate to all different aspects of your life. When you're posting about your story, you definitely want to put it out there. Share your story before, at the beginning when you're a brand new coach, you might feel a little uncomfortable at first. Could share it with your upline. You could, post it on your Facebook page, but you also want to practice talking about it with people that you trust, and you can even make a video of your story. There's a lot of examples of them. I'm going to give you some links to that as well. But here's some more about breadcrumbing and sharing it in pieces. It's okay to share the success, but you also do not want to omit the struggle. Okay, people will want to know why you're doing things before they want to know what you're doing. Your why is more important than what. Like, they're going to see, oh, great, you look amazing, you look so happy. They want to know what you're doing, but when you tell them the backstory as to how you finally said yes and started it, that's what is going to get them to then want to get whatever it is you're eating and drinking, and so remember the 3 W's. When did your struggle begin? What made you want to change? And how did you overcome it? Okay. Be brave to uncover the memories that you might have tried to forget. The messier, the more vulnerable, the more powerful your story will be. Okay. Again, like less is more. You don't have to overwhelm people with your entire story in like one post, like we said. Just how did Beachbody come into your life? How did you make a connection from like the old you to the new you? And then the results you're getting now. So it's like a 3-step. Okay. And you can even say, can I be real with you for a second? They know that you're going to be, that someone's going to have something important to say. You say that, like you're going to be sharing what's on your mind. Okay. Belief. That's the most important thing. Having belief in yourself, that knowing that what you're doing is making an impact on people. It may not be until someone messages you. It could be 6 months later. Like I've had people that are watching me and I had no idea because they didn't like my posts. They didn't really even comment on my posts. And one day they just messaged me and they said, I love what you're doing. Thank you for motivating me. I'm ready to start now. You know, it was like out of nowhere. So you don't realize that consistency is so important. And you want to be the person that you're helping someone else. Like think of your younger self or even just a few months ago before you started. Think of the person that needed the help. Those are the people out there. They might not be asking for it yet, and they might not even realize they are going to want it soon, but they will eventually, you know. So as long, it says you can relate to them by using the feel, felt, find method. So here's an example. I totally feel ya. I was struggling with my finances too, and I felt that I was never going to get out of it. But I found that with the Beachbody stuff, I can earn money, and it's not costing me anything to be in the business. Like, you know, if you wound up getting a couple of people to do it, you're not really spending much money. Like you're the $15.95 a month is, you know, nothing compared to other businesses. Like if it's just for having a website and all the advertisements and being a brand name, because people pretty much know Beachbody or P90X, and so all that stuff is being done for you. It's getting easier, and so you use I feel you, I felt that way too. And what I found, and it could be about anything, you know, like when I first started Shakeology, I understood it sounded expensive to me too, and I didn't think that one shake a day would really should be worth that much. But when I realized how much it helped me, and when I felt that way, but when I found it made my life so much more better, and you know, so you could use that feel, felt, find when you want to explain. Basically, whenever you're connecting with someone. I know, like I said before, people don't want to buy what you do; they want to buy why you do it. Okay. Did I check? Yeah. Okay. That you have a sense of purpose. Okay. I don't know if you read that. Can you read the bottom on your own? I didn't have, is it big enough? Okay. People are drawn to people who have a sense of purpose. It all starts with your why. Okay. So keys to getting started. Like I said earlier, repetition builds your skills. So if you post every once in a while, or you post consistently for a couple of weeks and then you drop off, people are going to say, oh, maybe it stopped working. Maybe she's not working out anymore. She's not drinking the shake. It was just a thing she went through, you know. When you are consistently posting, it builds trust. And you want to post things that people are going to eventually expect from you. It could be funny things that they would come to your page for humor. They come to your page for, you know, health tips and food and recipes, as well as just your own workout tips. It could be emotional. Anything that you're going through that they feel they're going to find there, you know, you're relating to people that are like you. So whether it's your daily going through your struggles with your kid, I know, like Penny, you're right. I don't know Tracy's story, but I know like Penny has a baby at home, and even bits and pieces of your struggles. That's what they're coming there for. You want to be you. You want to look at others. You can look at others to get ideas from, but you don't want to just copy and paste their words. You want to put it in your own language, you know, use the way you speak. You don't have to be formal about it, just so it sounds like you, because you want to be unique, and you want to attract the followers that are like you. You know, you never want to really be negative. If you had a bad day, you don't want to post out there something negative that, you know, if you're in a bad mood, you can say I'm in a bad mood, but you know what I mean? You don't want to like rant and like and then regret what you post out there. I don't really post about politics very much. I mean, right now it's hard not to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something you don't really want to like wipe out half of your people because you're talking about politics, and definitely go public. I know it's intimidating, and I know at the beginning you realize like I don't want all these, you feel it's creepy, or you think people are going to see your personal stuff. You don't have to post intimate things. I mean, I was always kind of posting about my kids and my family because my family lives abroad, and not abroad, but in other states, so they don't see my kids that much. And at first I didn't really want to open it up to the public and say, well, they're going to see all this stuff about my kids. But you can't really grow a business if you're staying so private. And I've been public now for almost 4 years, and I've never had any, creepy things happen. If there's anybody that tries to friend me that looks a little odd, I just don't accept the friendship, but that's the worst that can happen. But going public, more people will see you, and that's how you're going to, attract friends of friends. They can see your page even, and then when you friend people too. So going public is the way to go. Okay, now leveraging other stories. Before I move on, do you have any questions so far about your own story? Have you shared your story yet with others?
I haven't yet. I'm
Okay.
still kind of in the development stage.
Okay. Well, I could share with you. I know I'm going through it kind of quick because I want to stick to the half hour that we have about. But if you have any questions after this, I could always go back or send this to you if you want, But yeah, the sooner you get out, to share your story, you could share it in bits and pieces, and finding your story, and it's going to help you a lot, where people are going to want to do it. So, Penny, you shared some of your story, right?
I did. A lot of people that I'm on my Facebook page know my IVF story, and so like I lost the weight and then I had a baby. So a lot of people already, know that and know the struggle I went through. So now it's kind of like, okay, well, I had a baby and I'm ready to do, I don't know how ready you are to have a second one, but I have a second embryo that I want to transfer, but there's still that whole BMI and everything like that. So people know. I'm just putting it out there a little bit more, which is, it's intimidating, but I mean, it is what it is. It's IVF and having a baby.
Right. But I feel like it's almost just once you get it out there, whether it's kind of a relief. And when you see all the support you get from it, people aren't there to judge you or to ridicule you. People are out there to support you. So when you start seeing all these comments and people supporting you, like, oh, wow. And, and sometimes if you put something out there and you don't get a like, don't feel like people aren't supporting you. It could just be the time of the day, or it could be just that people don't see it consistently. It builds time before people trust you, and then and with the, what is it called? The algorithm of Facebook nowadays, you really don't know who's actually seeing your posts, because unless you're liking and talking to a lot of other people, they might not even see your post. I know a friend of mine got upset with me recently, like a couple of months ago, that I wasn't liking her stuff. And I'm like, I'm so busy with all the Beachbody stuff, and I don't even see her stuff unless I specifically go to her page. Like I haven't even seen her post. She thought I was like seeing her post and not liking it, but I just never saw them, so don't ever feel insulted if you put something out there and you don't get a lot of likes, because we've all been there. There's like crickets. I mean, it happens to me daily, so don't worry about it. All right. Okay, leveraging other stories. So, for example, my upline, his mother no longer had to take blood pressure medication after starting Shakeology. Now, I didn't have trouble with my own blood pressure, but if I've heard a story of others, and I can use that to tell people. So when you're dealing with someone who has other challenges than you're still making connections. You're listening the most to find out what their challenges are, and you're forming them, which I know you'll learn when you're going through a lot of the training. You're asking them more questions than you're speaking. So you're hearing about them and what they want to improve and what their challenges are. And you can think of other stories that you've heard. Like on Super Saturday, I heard a coach who is now in remission from her rheumatoid arthritis. And a lot of people who have autoimmune disease and challenges that Shakeology has helped and put them completely in remission. So like I remember some of these stories. So when I hear someone who has a similar situation, I can just relate to that. I have a link here that I'm going to share that I could put, if it comes up. Like I made a whole list for you guys that of the success stories. A lot of this is in our back office as well, but I kind of put a little blurb about each person, like Amy Silverman. These are a lot of success stories. So if you ever need one, you could look at the blurb and say, oh, I know someone like our upline Bob Lucido who he left being a lawyer in order to be a Beachbody coach. You know, he's a full-time lawyer and he had his own practice, and he left after years and years of education. He left being a lawyer to be a Beachbody coach because he became in the Millionaires Club. But all of these people have their own stories. So whether it's a stay-at-home mom, there was someone who was who hit rock bottom, who was bleeding internally, was from alcoholism. Like, you'll hear all different stories. So I just wanted to put a link there for you so you could see that. So it's okay if your story is not exactly like other people's, you can still leverage other stories that you've heard. Okay, how to meet new people. So your wear and share. A lot of times, especially in the summer, I have a lot of tank tops that are like some of the programs that I've used, or Shakeology tank tops. I've worn them out just shopping, and it just sparks up conversation. There's a challenger in my group now who transferred to me because she, I guess, had done a couple of Beachbody programs, but I was just picking out a pair of sneakers, and we started talking because I had a shirt on, and she wound up saying, oh, I love the programs, but she wasn't in any challenge groups and she didn't have any support. And so it was just an easy way of getting new prospects, meeting new people. At parties, people, it just comes up naturally at weddings, barbecues, kids' parties. It's not like you're there just to like promote it to everyone, but health and nutrition comes up almost no matter where you are. I was somewhere yesterday too, and I almost sometimes have to bite my lip, like, do I say something now about it? Because, sometimes I'm just enjoying my kids, watching them. I was watching Shayna Saturday morning at her, it was like this gymnastics thing. And all the women were talking about is what they eat and what they used to diet and this and that. And it just comes up a lot. So meeting new people could be at anything, at just running errands, at the nail salon, the doctor's office, as well as social media. So if you ever go to your groups, I tried to put a picture here. Let me put this as present mode. If you go to your groups, like your Facebook, you go to Explore, where it says groups, you can go to Discover, and you can join groups based on what you like. And like, I'm in a lot of moms groups right now, and I did a crock pot challenge, a clean eating challenge, and a lot of those moms groups wanted to be in the crock pot challenge. There was so many that wanted to join. I'll do free challenges like a water challenge, and that helps you to meet new people on social media by doing these free challenges. And then you can even give them incentive by having friends of friends join. Like, say, if you want to invite some other friends, or give a free giveaway if they post it on their page. And, another way of doing it is Instagram. I'm not a big Instagrammer yet, but I know that if you like and comment and post, you could search hashtags in order to get people that are similar to you, where you start having relationships with them because they're liking your stuff, you're liking their stuff, and you start having messages and conversations with them. So creating your own free group or community page, asking a lot of questions in those groups that you join. So if you're in a mom's group, giving value, like posting things that other people might, get value out of, responding to people that are looking for things, having a fit club. You could always start your own fit club. It could be at your house. I did it in the summer. We did PIO in my backyard, and I had people invite their own friends. So local people, if you're in a club, in a group on Facebook that's in your community, like you might say, hey, I'm having a backyard fit club. We're all going to be doing whatever workout. It's a free workout. I want to come. And it's nice because people will come. So it's a great way to meet people. Or shake and share, right? You could think of, you're both pretty new. A shake and share is another event where it's kind of like you're opening, your success story, not your success story, but you're opening your storefront, I should say, where you're letting people know that you are a coach and that you want to try the shake. It's delicious. You could set it up in your house. There's all information about it in the back office that tells you exactly how to do a shake and share. And usually you could do it with other people. So you join on with someone in your community. If you have someone that lives near you that's a coach, or that is even a challenger, you say, hey, do you want to come over and do this with me? You could even make it a fit club and a shake and share. Like, they come and taste some of your shakes and you have a little fun workout together. So it's a fun way to get people to come over. Okay, now how to track your prospects. There are so many ways to track. So when you're new, a lot of people just use the Facebook Messenger for a while or their email. But after a while, you could definitely lose track of who you're speaking to. I mean, it's nice when they're in your group. So like I have people that are in my free groups, I'll message with them. But it's more than just messaging. You want to track who you spoke to. So I have examples here of the power of 3 that we've used. You have to find one that's right for you. So if you click on this, I have just what people have used in the past. You could print it out, and it has like add 3 people to your network. So you always want to expand your network. At the beginning, we have what's called your warm market. So you have like they call low-lying fruit on the bottom of the tree, you know, your friends, your family. But after a while, you need to have more and more people into your network. So you'll be friending new people from those groups and friending new people, friend requesting from, you know, Instagram, bringing them over. So you want to track them so you don't forget about them. Because you will, when your business starts to grow, it's hard to keep it all in your head, everybody. Building new relationships, so you want to track the people that you're speaking to and forming with, you're just building relationships with, and then people that you might be planting seeds to invite to a challenge group or a coaching opportunity. Okay, so I'm not going to go down to this part as much as what you're tracking with the Facebook posts and follow-ups, because right now we're talking about tracking your prospects. So that was one example. Another is a binder system. I have a whole information that someone had brought up, Jennifer Wooten, which is pretty cool. I'll put this in the group too if you're interested in it. It just gives you ways of how to track. It's called like a funnel tracker. Just some of the new people that you meet. You're writing all their names down in little notes, and then you're just checking how many times you actually spoke with them or liked their posts. You don't have to have a full-blown conversation each time, because it takes, they say, at least 7 times before someone actually maybe becomes your friend or winds up wanting to, you know, to get back to you. It takes a while. You can't just speak to someone once and then forget about them. You got to follow up at least 7 to 10 times. So the binder system, it's just a quick example. I don't know if you could see. If you have a binder, you just put a number for each day of the month. So it's 1 through 30. And then there's a sheet that she talks about that you could fill out once the person is someone that you feel like you've friended enough, where it's not just someone brand new that is not even a friend, like from a group. And they become like, if people in your free group, you could put their name when you first had contact with them, some of their goals, when you find out their goals. It could be a coach or a customer. This is information about programs and if they're on it, but it just gives you dates of follow-ups. So the way that person uses their binder is they put this sheet in every day. So like say I want to follow up with them on February 15th because I don't want to forget about them. I'll put that sheet on the 15th, under number 15. So whoever's on number 15, they could open up on February 15th who's in there and just speak to those people that are in there. This way you're not all day long like just reaching out to anyone without intent, without purpose at all. You have your 10 people or 5 people in there and then you're done. You know, so there's different ways of getting into a system. It's hard to stick to a system unless you're very organized. You know, so I told you earlier, I'm not so organized. So I've tried many different ways. I have an old plan book that I used, which I'm going back to because I find it to be the easiest for me. Well, I just, instead of doing the power of 3s on that sheet, I kind of made up my own power of 3, like new customers, follow-ups, challengers. And I just put a heading on the top, like new friends. And then down below, because it's Monday through Friday, I'll just write their names. Or I've used coding, like I just put an I for invite if I've invited them. And it could be just an invite to a free group. So I'll write I, and then I wrote ask for free group. So I knew that these are the people that I asked to be in the free group. If I put, I think I wrote it there, F if I followed up with them, N if they're a new person. I have S if I sent a link or a sample to them. You know, so you could come up with your own coding system, but I find that there's not a lot of space to write full-blown notes out. I'll just put their name with a little code next to it. And what else? Teamzy. Okay, this is something that is really great. If you want to try the 30 days free, I try to put a picture of it over here. I don't know if you could see. If you go to Teamzy.com, they did everything for you online. So it's kind of like you can import all of your contacts from Facebook. You can import, anyone that you have from your Coach Online office. And it's a systematic way where you can even put the date of when you want to contact the people, and it comes up. So you have a dashboard, and their names will come up as to, who you're supposed to contact that day. So if you have, and you rate each person. So some people you rate as like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think that's how it was. The fives are like the people that you think are very responsive to possibly wanting to be part of your challenge group. The threes are like the medium, you don't know. Ones could be people you have no idea, so you could change the rating of the people so they come up more often. So it's a very systematic way. You can watch the video. I put a link here for the video. If you ever want to watch how it works, it's pretty cool. It's a 3-minute video. What is Teamzy? How does it work? It does cost money after the 30 days. So at the beginning, when you're a new coach, some new coaches don't want to pay that yet. I mean, there's a discount for the team, I think like a $5 off, but otherwise I think it's like $25 a month. So it's kind of something that, yes, it might save you time if you would like to do everything online and you don't want to write everything. Or there's a free one on Google Streak, but that's there's also a lot of videos that you could check out that show you. There's even I'll show you this too, a Beachbody coach that talks about how she uses it. Streak is free, but it's a bit more work on how to organize it and put your people in. If you're good with computers, you could probably do it really better than I would, but it's another way of tracking people and keeping organized. And it is very important. When you start listening to the National Wake Up Calls, you'll hear all of the elites and all of the people that have grown their business huge. When they really started tracking them is when it started to grow more. Because then you're not forgetting about people that after you spoke to 2 or 3 times, you don't always go back to, unless you're going back to just the same 10 people over and over and over again, right? Then you're not really growing your business. And that's what I did at the beginning. I always just kind of stuck with the comfort zone and stuck with the people I know and my friends at work. And I didn't really expand. And I was doing it as a hobby anyway. But once you started doing it, as more of a business, you want to reach out to more and more people because it's a numbers game, and people will come back to you eventually. Like, it could be a year later. I have people that are coming back to me 2 years later that all of a sudden they're ready, so it's good to keep track. Okay, so is there any questions? Because I'm already past 9:30. We started a little late, but I think we're running out of time. I just wanted to finish with a couple of good quotes here. If you do build a great experience, customers tell each other about it. Word of mouth is very powerful. Another one is we make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. And the third is you don't build a business, you build people, and then people build the business. So it's all about relationship building and giving to others. And I'm going to stop sharing here. But I hope you got a lot. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
This is really good. Thank you.
That was good. Thanks.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah, I tried to get over it. I know we had a half hour, so I could go off in tangents, but let me stop the recording for a moment. I hope I'm recording. Oh, here it is. Okay.